Hey everybody, this is the end of the cherry blossom season, and I'm kind of sad about it because this is a time of year where we celebrate, and yet that celebration does not last forever. No, it just lasts for a few days, believe it or not. We hit full bloom about 4 or 5 days ago. Hey everybody, and now we're at the end, and we had some wind the last couple of days. Yeah, they're gone. Well, I wouldn't say they're completely gone. Let me give you a look around. So behind me are trees. This is the Ichigaya area. Behind me are a couple of trees. There you go. And there are some people doing hanami here, you can see. Hanami is celebrating the cherry blossoms under the trees. And the blossoms, you can see, are just about blown off. They've all popped up, and you can see that the leaves are starting to come through right there. There's still some hanging on, but that's not going to stop people from celebrating. As you can see, a lot of people are out here. A lot of people are out here along the riverbanks here in Ichigaya celebrating. There's cases of beer, lots of big blue sheets, and what I like about this area is that it's not as crowded as Ueno Park or Yoyogi Park or some of the other parks in the city. This is more local. There's some convenience stores out there. There's some people celebrating over here, and you can see just down there, there's a truck I saw. It's like an Oden truck, I think. I don't see these anymore, believe it or not. These are kind of rare to find. He's got an Oden truck down there, do you see? I'm unscrewing the tripod right now. 1,000 yen for 12 pieces of Oden. That's actually not a... Actually, that's kind of expensive. You can see the Oden in the simmering in the tubs down there. So I'm going to take you down this riverside here and show you a little bit of the Ichigaya area and why I like to come here. Once again, you know, Ueno and Yoyogi Park are nice. Shinjuku Gyoen is nice. But it's just a little bit too crowded for my taste. And you can see the train line going by here. That should be the Chuo line. That's the Chuo line going by there. On the other side of the river, you can see there's more Sakura trees, but most of them are on this side. And there's a beautiful walkway that leads from Ichigaya Station all the way, if you keep going, towards Yotsuya, which is another area in the center. And if you keep going straight, I believe you get to Shinjuku Station. I've done the walk a couple of times, so you don't have to believe it. It's a true story. You can see here the leaves have really come through. That's the end. Hey, the Oden truck is following us as well. He rings the bell to announce to everybody that he's here, and then some people who want food will make their way down to the Oden truck, buy something. He also has yakitori and beer. Yeah, so it is a really beautiful day. The last 3 days have been really nice in Tokyo. The problem is that, yeah, there was some wind. And once you get to 100% bloom and the blossoms are out full, everything is blossomed, they hang on. Oh, they hang on. And then they just go away, like this train will in a second. blossoms are here, and they're meant to be short-lived. That's the sad part about it, but that's also the beauty of it, that it's here one day and it's gone the next, and you have to enjoy the moment. And this is also a lesson in life. You enjoy the moment right now as it is, and when they're gone, they'll be back next year. But until that time, enjoy the last few moments of it. I like here in Japan, they separate all of the trash, even up here where it's not a very a very popular place. There's not a lot of people. It's not like Ueno Park, as I said, but they still have, the city has set up places where you have non-burnable trash, you have burnable trash, and then you have cans and bottles over there. And I really like this system where the city has separated it. There's just a couple of cans in there. But it keeps the area clean. And in Tokyo, we have a crow problem. I don't know if it was a problem, but we just have, I just get the notification for this live stream, so sometimes they don't come to you right away. So I'm gonna have to stay on for another 15 minutes or so, just so we can get those people who are getting their notifications late to get back onto our live stream. These are some of the scenes that are quite famous for Tokyo during the Hanami season. One of the places here is where the Chuo line goes by, and you have the cherry blossoms right here. Now the blossoms are gone, but here you got the train going by. It's scenes like that really are famous for the city of Tokyo. You got trains going past the nature, the cherry blossoms, and that's a big part of this time of year in the city. We have a lot of dead warriors here. They hung on as long as they could, and now they're done. Give it a proper burial. Yeah, so once again, we do have a very, very lovely day in Tokyo. There are some cherry blossoms, but yeah, it's effectively on the way out. And so by next week, by Monday, April 3rd, I think, April 4th, it's probably gonna be just a few really strong guys hanging on. From a distance, you can see them. You see, these are some of the smaller ones, and there are different varieties of cherry blossoms. So the blossoms are blooming at all different times, but the Yoshino, the Sakura blossoms that we have here are the majority of them, and they're pretty much at the end now. I think we had them at 80% bloom and then 100% bloom, and now we have them at like minus 40% bloom, so we're going into the minuses. But that doesn't mean that you can't still enjoy them. And another reason why I'm doing this live stream is also to suggest some places that you can go into Tokyo, in Japan, if you want to see cherry blossoms. Tokyo is not, and I've been preaching this for the last couple of weeks now on the live streams. Tokyo is not the best place to see the cherry blossoms. It's a place, but it's not the best place. The best places are outside of the city center, and I would have to say, I was impressed last year with Hirosaki. Hirosaki is in Aomori Prefecture, and Hirosaki is also a castle town. And you can get there by Shinkansen to Aomori if you have a JR Rail Pass. Go up to Aomori. It starts on April 24th. Thank you, Vikram. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. I appreciate all of the support every time. So the place that I like the best, probably right now, I was really impressed with Hirosaki. I also think that Fukushima is a great place to go for the cherry blossoms. It was famous before the meltdown that we had 8 years ago. It was famous for having the cherry blossoms, but it's also a famous place still today with beautiful cherry blossom trees, and they have one of the biggest ones in Japan up there as well. And I think seeing these magnificent patriarchs of trees, or matriarchs, I'm not sure if a tree is a male or female, I'm gonna say female, so matriarchs of trees, I think that is worth making a trip to go and see. Fukushima has some big ones that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. I think also that yeah, Hirosaki and Aomori was an amazing place because you have the castle around the cherry blossoms, and it blooms on April 20, between the 20th and the 26th. I want to say between the 20th and the 26th. I think you're gonna see some beautiful cherry blossoms up there, and Yoshinoyama, which is there's a lot of trains in Tokyo. I'm telling you right now. That's the Sobu line, and then the other one is the Chuo Hon line, the main Chuo line. And then there's the local Chuo lines. There's locals and express trains that go by here. So Yoshinoyama usually is ranked as the #1 spot to see the cherry blossoms. And if you're on Patreon and you got the postcard last month, because I have a postcard club where I send these to people who support the show, that is the #1, considered the #1 spot in Japan to go and see the cherry blossoms, because there's, I think, over 30,000, there's probably more, 30,000 sakura trees all blooming at different times because they're at elevation going from pretty much ground level to the top of the hills there. And the temperature is different, the atmosphere is different, being on the top looking down is different, being on the bottom looking up is different, so you have so many different views. So that's why I liked Yoshinoyama and Nara Prefecture. A lot of the other places that I go to when I want to see the cherry blossoms is not in Tokyo. It's outside of the city. Niigata, Nagano is going to be starting next week. That's another reason to hop on the trains and get on the Shinkansen and go to Nagano. See the cherry blossoms up there. You can stretch this out. I think Tokyo is finished, but I think Utsunomiya is another place that's going to be starting. They have a park that's not too far away from the main station. That near there's a TV tower in the city of Utsunomiya. Not only is Utsunomiya famous for good gyoza, maybe the best gyoza in Japan, but it's also a place where the cherry blossoms start a week after Tokyo, just about, because they have cooler weather inland, and that means that, yeah, it's probably peak right now. I should hop on the train too. So this is also a famous site. You get the cherry blossoms on the distant side of the river, and then you have the train lines going by. This is the Chuo and the Sobu lines that go by every couple of minutes. And if you see in the distance, do you see it? I know you guys can see it. Here we go. Right there, right in the center of the screen is a place where you can do urban fishing, tsuri. They say fishing in Japanese is called tsuri, T-S-U-R-I, and you can rent a rod, and you can rent a pail, and you can actually fish. You can fish here in the center of the city, and that's kind of another famous place to go. This is sort of like a tunnel. So if you were here about 5 days ago, it would have been absolutely stunning before the winds hit. You can hear the winds maybe through the microphone right now. But if you're going towards right here, this is a really good indication of where we are right now with the cherry blossoms in Tokyo. The cherry blossoms, there's a few hanging on, and the green leaves are starting to pop through, and that's when you know you're at the end of the cycle. It didn't last too long. Why was Tokyo's cherry blossoms early this year? It's another question. How do you time your trip effectively to meet with the cherry blossoms? And the answer is that I have no idea, because you can't predict Mother Nature. It's sort of the interesting thing is you don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. You really don't know when the cherry blossoms are gonna start to bloom until about a month out. And if you have a warm spell 2 weeks before the cherry blossoms, then they're probably gonna bloom about 3 days earlier, and that means that if you booked your hotel to try to meet up with the cherry blossoms, you might be late or too early. There's just no real way to predict it. And as I said, like the main cherry blossoms are here, really at that impressive all white. Oh. Oh, hello, nice to meet you. Yeah. Hey, everybody. I just bumped into somebody that I knew. It's a small, Tokyo's a big city, but it's a small neighborhood out here. Yeah, so as I was saying, oh, there's the Oden truck again. How does this guy go backwards? You can get 12 pieces of Oden, which is good for 2 people for 1,000 yen. Or 1 person for 600 yen, it says here. You get about 6 pieces of Oden. I don't know why people aren't going. It might be the quality. It's somewhat scary. I don't know. But as I was saying, Tokyo is not the best place to go to the cherry blossoms. It's almost impossible to predict when you can go. But that shouldn't stop you, because as you can see here, that everybody is also, it doesn't stop everybody from coming out and doing hanami parties. And they're sitting out here underneath what was the cherry blossoms on blue sheets with their friends and enjoying a Sunday afternoon here in Tokyo. So Richard Woodard writes in here, have you heard of a cherry blossom forecast for the Fujigoko region, 2 weeks, and we'll be in Tokyo? I'm not sure, but if it's at elevation and it's outside the city, there's a chance. As I'm saying, up in Tohoku, the cherry blossoms will bloom in about 2 weeks from now. So there's still time. And if you're going even up to Hokkaido, if you want to go and see the cherry blossoms in Japan in May, you can see that in Hokkaido. Sapporo has the cherry blossoms in the first week of May. So that's a month away. So 30 days from now, effectively, we're going to be having cherry blossoms in Sapporo. So you don't have to rush to get to Tokyo. If you have a train pass or you want to get a cheap flight to get to Sapporo, you can be able to see the cherry blossoms in Japan. Tokyo is only one place to see them. Which is sort of the purpose of this live stream. I know a lot of you are just tuning in right now, but Japan's cherry blossom season, although short here in Tokyo, we just had about 3 or 4 days of it at full bloom, and then poof, they flew off the last few days. Well, that's a collection of beer. Look at that. These guys know how to drink. Look at that. And they put their dead warriors, they line it up out of respect. That's awesome. They really did some damage here, these guys. There's some Hakkai-san down there, some sake. I see every kind of beer too. There's premium malts, Kirin. That's an amazing selection. Ebisu. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Hello. I bet you they're going to be here tomorrow morning, just sprawled out on their blue sheet, waking up. What happened? We got hammered. It's very, very easy for that to happen. I've been to some Sakura parties, some Hanami parties that just never really ended. And, it's like, oh, look at this. This is beautiful. Yeah. Do you see the blossoms just sort of falling? This is a moment that I just have to stop in my tracks and enjoy. You see the leaves, the blossoms falling? It's absolutely stunning. So every little breeze that blows through this area, the blossoms will fall off of the buds, off of the branches, and start to fly towards us. That was a pretty incredible moment right there. There you go here. That was, I literally just stopped in my steps right there, and I had to take that all in. I didn't even want to say anything. I didn't want to ruin it. So Professor Dell, thank you very much. Professor asks if you're a first timer to Japan. This is a really good question. Should the cherry blossoms be the first time that you come? It really I'm touching my brother, the tree. I love trees. That's a hard one. I think I think you have to come when you have time. Japan has 4 seasons, and each season has its own special. He's totally smashed. Just go straight, dude. Follow the line. Follow the line. Did you see that? That dude was smashed. Wow. That's right. All right. So the professor writes, when's the best time? I think that this is a really amazing time. The thing is this, right? You can't really predict when the cherry blossom. This is sort of the point of this live stream as well. Yeah, when you're live, you never know what you're gonna see. Yeah, and that was if he'd fallen down or something or started yakking, then I'd be pretty embarrassed. But just seeing him kind of stagger, and that's a typical sight. It's a safe. Tokyo is such a safe place. Nothing will happen to him just as long as he can find the restroom. So I don't know. The thing is this, Professor. If it's really hard to predict the cherry blossoms, if you get a Japan Rail Pass and it's your first time, and if you have some time to settle in here, maybe like 10 days, you can take the JR Rail Pass and you can go and you can do some blossom hunting and find out where they are. Now the problem with that is that a lot of the hotels are probably going to be booked. This is a high season, not just for foreign tourists coming to Japan, but for Japanese themselves. They're traveling around looking at the cherry blossoms. So hotels are booked far in advance, and the chance of you missing the cherry blossoms and booking a hotel at a peak rate and yet not having the cherry blossoms, there's a percentage of that. So I think you can come to Japan at this time of year. As you can see, I've lost my winter jacket. I'm outside. I feel more free. It feels great to be outside, that the weather's not hot. I'm not sweating uncontrollably, which is what it's like in the summer. But if your main purpose is to see the cherry blossoms, then I would say it's a little bit of a risk, but the weather is good. It doesn't rain that much between April and the middle of May, so it's an excellent time. My recommendation is come to Japan at the end, after Golden Week, which is the holiday, which runs from April 27th to May 5th. So if you come to Japan around May 10th, this is the golden time, I think, for travel. It's just beautiful. Between May 10th and May 25th, it hardly rains. I'm not going to say it doesn't rain at all, but it hardly rains. It's before the monsoon, the rainy season, but it's before also the summer weather that's so oppressively hot where you're just sweating uncontrollably. So for me, that would be the best time. If you do come and you want to see the cherry blossom seasons, just be aware that you might miss them and you might end up with scenes like this. And that guy he's got cherry blossoms on he's got cherry blossom head. He's got some on his head. They've been falling all over. Every time a wind goes by, it just rains blossoms. So that would be my advice to you, Professor. But you can't go wrong. Once again, the food is all different. The scenery changes in the winter. Instead of the blossoms on the tree, you're gonna have blossoms on the ground. And actually, this is kind of beautiful. It's like a lost. It's like art, in a way. When beauty has fallen on the ground, it sure does look good. It's like a pink and white. And you can see they're pretty much all over the place. They're on top of the roof here. This guy's trying to get a picture of a few dead ones. That's essentially, yeah. So that's really good, really good question. Another one that I get asked a lot, and what I'm going to do is actually make a live stream next week, I think, where I sit down and answer all of your questions that you might have traveling, because a lot of people are going to be coming to Japan in the summer, and a lot of people have been writing to meet up with me, and that's an indication that, yeah, people are starting to make the plans to come to Japan finally after years of wanting to come here, and you have a lot of questions. So why don't I make a live stream next week? I'll schedule it, and you guys can all follow me on here. Andどうした?
You are saying them now.
Yeah.
おかしい。
今ライブ配信外国人に紹介してる桜。
どこが国ですか？
私？みんな？私アメリカ。みんな世界にどこでも。イエーイ。 綺麗ですね。
Whoa. Best station.
Sakura rain.
Blossom.
Yeah. Whoa. Cool. High five. Yeah, brother. See ya. Did that just happen? That was the dude who was staggering before. I love this guy. He's in my top 10 of people I've met in my life. So there's also a guy dressed up as a rabbit here. That's cute. So it's a time to celebrate, you know. It's a time for celebration, and yeah, it's a fun time to be in Japan. Whoa. You said there was a bubble that came right at me. Had to get my Jean-Claude Van Damme on there and get out of the way, avoid the hit. Although he takes a few in the chest every now and then. Here's a playground. You can see once again the green blossoms have come out, and we're closer to the end than the beginning. This is a time of year where you just celebrate. You will go and get a little hammered in Japan, and usually you're with a group of friends. And yeah, you know, when you haven't seen, this is a reason for you to catch up with your friends as well. Everybody is doing parties. I've been invited to a dozen Sakura parties. I didn't go to any of them this year because I've been pretty busy editing and doing videos and stuff. But this is also a time of year where you get to meet up with your friends that you haven't seen in a while, and you all have a party. And of course, you're going to get a little bit, you know, tipsy because it's a celebration. And this Sunday is the last Sunday for the cherry blossoms here in Tokyo. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can just see there's like one hanging on here. Hang on, little guy. Hang on. So that did happen. That guy did come out. If you missed it, you're gonna have to check that out. He staggered by me, and then he came by, and then while I was talking, he just stopped. He stopped, and then I was like, "Can I help you, sir?" You know, like I looked around, and he asked me what I was doing. Pretty cool live stream. This is Ichigaya. I'm now in front of Ichigaya Station, and this is the walkway that goes past this playground, and you can walk all the way to Yotsuya and Shinjuku. And Yasukuni Shrine is the other direction that I live streamed from before. And I think I might do one more live stream today. I'm gonna go to another area of Tokyo and kind of give you an idea of what the end of the Sakura season is like. But I am hungry, and I'm gonna try to find some ramen. I don't know if I'm gonna live stream that. But it has also been 1 year since the channel has started, and I want to do a celebratory episode to celebrate having this channel for 1 year. And I really don't count how many episodes that I do. It's not about that. It's sort of about this live streaming was just sort of an idea, and it's turned into something that I can connect with people more regularly now, because it's just so easy to push the go live button and then bring you content live. Here's a map of where I am. So where are we? Oh, here's Kudanshita. This is where I was the other day, and I did a meetup there, and I believe this is Idabashi and Suidobashi. So Ichigaya. Okay, we're down here. So this is Ichigaya. And here's the river that we followed. You can't believe it's been a year, too. Here's the station down here for the subway. JR is right there. That's the JR station. I can show you where they do the fishing, maybe. But I'm doing another live meetup on the 4th. Here's the map of the city, and we're right here. I'll take you where the fishy are. I'm doing another live meetup for anybody who's in the city or coming to Tokyo on April 4th. Oh yeah, you can see the station. You can see the station here. Hey, Professor Dell, thank you, my friend. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some ramen. Well, I might get some fish. Check it out. Do you see the people down there? These are the guys that are fishing. You know what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go down and do the fishing for you on another day. Today's a Sunday. This isn't the best day to do it because it's quite crowded down there, but if I can go down there and catch some fish, this is a catch and release. And the place where you go and you get the, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's in the front here. There's a booth where you can pay and you get a fishing pole, and then you can just get a milk carton, and a milk crate, and you just sit on it and you fish. And every now and then you'll catch something. I'm kind of waiting for somebody to catch something. Yeah, Timothy, I believe Angela did do a live stream on this. Or not a live stream, but an episode on this. And I think you have to get into the reasons of why Japanese do this. I know that some cities around the world also have fishing ponds. You can also fish indoor. They have catch your own fish restaurants. So it is pretty cool. I see, Nosh, I see you, my friend. That might have to be a ramen live stream now, and I am starving. So there's the cherry blossoms on the other side of the river. As I said, Shinjuku to the left, Itabashi to the right. Itabashi is where I had the monster gyoza a couple of years ago. It's pretty big gyoza that made me sick. I have stories to tell you, but I'm not going to tell it to you right now. That wasn't the best memory. Eating that gyoza was not, it made for a good episode, but it was definitely not a good memory for me. I was tasting it for a week after eating it. Not eating it. I ate 75% of it, I think, or 65% of it, but oh man. I'm going to Ichigaya Station. I'm going to try to find some ramen after this. So I'm going to do another live stream if I can get to the ramen, or find something interesting for you. But I don't live stream just for the sake of live streaming. I want to have like a mission, you know. I need to have a mission, and Professor and Nosh have made a mission for me. It is to go get some ramen. So I'm in Ichigaya Station. So hang on for a little bit. I'm going to go find some ramen. Maybe I'm going to go to Shinjuku Station. That sounds good. So see you in about an hour, okay? Or less. Thanks for joining me on this live stream, everybody. It's ramen time.